My beloved brother, my dearest sister, my friend, I want to ask you something, a question your heart may have whispered in the quietest hours of the night. Have you ever stood in prayer, your hands raised, your lips forming the words, but felt a deep, hollow space between you and the heavens? You go through the motions of your faith, you fulfill your duties, you try with every fiber of your being to be a good person, a believing soul. Yet, when you are alone and the world is silent, you feel a certain kind of distance, a quiet ache that you cannot name. You feel as though you are calling out into a vast emptiness, and you begin to wonder, is anyone truly listening? You see others who seem so full of light, so serene in their spiritual state, and you look at your own heart and ask, why do I feel so far away? Why does Allah Almighty feel so distant when I am trying so desperately to be near? If this feeling resonates with you, I want you to take a gentle breath. I want you to know that this message right here, right now is for you. This feeling does not make you a hypocrite. It does not make you weak. And it certainly does not mean that Allah Almighty is displeased with you. In fact, it may mean the complete opposite. What if I were to tell you that this painful sense of distance is not a sign of your faith failing, but a sign that your heart is truly alive? A heart that feels nothing, a soul that is truly lost, would not even notice the distance. It would not ache for a connection it has forgotten. The very fact that you feel this longing, this spiritual homesickness, is a testament to the purity that still resides within you. It is the echo of a promise your soul once made, a memory of its origin, a yearning to return to its source. We have been led to believe that a strong connection with Allah Almighty means a life of constant emotional highs, of perpetual happiness and unshakable certainty. We imagine that true believers walk through life in a state of blissful peace, untouched by doubt, sadness, or confusion. But this is a beautiful misunderstanding. The stories of the most beloved people to Allah Almighty, the prophets and the righteous, are filled with moments of profound human struggle. They felt sorrow, they felt fear, they felt the weight of their loneliness. They turned to their Lord, not with perfectly composed speeches, but with trembling lips and tear-filled eyes, asking for strength, for guidance, for just a glimmer of hope to keep going. Their vulnerability was not a sign of spiritual weakness. It was the very pinnacle of their sincerity and their profound trust in Allah Almighty. So when you feel that ache inside, that sense of being far away, do not push it down in shame. Do not see it as a mark against your faith. Instead, I invite you to see it differently. See it as a sacred invitation. It is your heart's gentle way of telling you that it is time to reconnect on a deeper level. The worldly life, with its noise, its demands, and its distractions, can build invisible walls around our hearts. We become so consumed with our responsibilities, our goals, and our worries that we slowly, almost imperceptibly, begin to feel disconnected from our spiritual core. That feeling of distance is simply your soul's alarm, a soft but persistent ringing, telling you to pause, to turn inward, and to search for the path back home. It is a mercy from Allah Almighty, a way of protecting you from becoming completely lost. He is making you feel the discomfort of distance so that you will cherish the sweetness of nearness once more. Your heart is not breaking, it is breaking open. It is creating a space for His light to enter again, to fill the hollowness, to soothe the ache, and to remind you of a truth you may have momentarily forgotten. He is closer to you than you can ever imagine. My dear friend, let us talk about something deeply personal, something many of us hide from the world. Let us talk about your tears. Not the tears that fall in public, but the ones that come in the deep solitude of your own space. You are in your room, the house is quiet, and the day's facade has finally crumbled. You have been strong for everyone else. You have smiled, you have nodded, you have carried the weight of the world on your shoulders. But now, in the safety of your own company, the dam breaks. A tear escapes, then another, and soon your pillow becomes a silent witness to the grief, the fear, or the exhaustion your heart can no longer contain. In that moment, you might feel completely and utterly alone. You might feel that your pain is invisible, that your quiet sobs are lost to the night. But I am here to remind you of a beautiful, comforting truth. Those tears are among the most sacred conversations you will ever have. Each one is a word, a prayer, a story that you do not have the strength to articulate, sent directly from the depths of your soul to the boundless mercy of your Creator. Allah Almighty sees every single tear. He knows the weight behind it. He understands the unspoken pain that gives it birth. These moments of emotional release are not moments of weakness. They are moments of the most profound strength, the strength to be vulnerable and honest before the one who created your heart and knows its every secret. You are not falling apart. you are falling into the hands of the one who can piece you back together. In a world that often demands we be strong, stoic, and unshakable, choosing to let go and cry is an act of courage. It is an admission that you cannot do this alone, and that is the beginning of true reliance on him. Prophet Jacob, after losing his beloved son, did not suppress his grief. He did not pretend to be unaffected. He turned his face towards the heavens and declared that he only complained of his sorrow and his sadness to Allah Almighty. Think of the beauty in that. He understood that his heart was created by Allah Almighty, and so its pains could only be truly healed by him. Your heart is no different. Your sadness has a right to be felt, to be acknowledged, and to be presented to the only one who can transform it into peace. So do not be ashamed of your tears. Do not wipe them away in haste, thinking they make you less of a believer. They are proof that your heart is soft. A hard, heedless heart does not weep. It is the tender, living, feeling heart that is moved to tears. And a tender heart is a heart that is close to Allah Almighty. Each drop is a purification. It washes away the dust of the worldly life that has settled upon your soul. It softens the ground of your heart, preparing it for the seeds of hope and healing to grow. Consider this. Perhaps the reason you feel the need to cry is that Allah Almighty Himself is calling your heart to speak to Him in this pure, unfiltered language. He's inviting you to lay down your burdens, to release the pain you have been carrying so bravely, but so heavily. He wants you to experience the relief that comes after the storm, the quiet calm that settles in the soul after it has been cleansed by tears. There is a unique closeness to Allah Almighty that is found only in brokenness, a sweetness that is tasted only in the midst of sorrow. When you are on your knees with nothing left but your tears, you are in the perfect posture to receive His mercy. You have emptied yourself of your pride, your pretenses, and your reliance on your own strength. And it is in that emptiness that His presence can be most powerfully felt. So the next time you feel that wave of emotion rising, do not fight it. Find a quiet corner, turn your heart towards Him, and let it flow. You are not just crying. You are engaging in a beautiful, profound act of remembrance and a sincere prayer that needs no words. My beloved, let us speak about a feeling that can be one of the heaviest a heart can carry. It is the feeling of guilt. It is that cold, hollow ache that settles in your chest after you have done something you know you should not have. You made a mistake, you transgressed a boundary, you hurt someone, or you hurt your own soul. And in the aftermath, a voice begins to whisper. It tells you that you are tarnished, that you are unworthy. It makes you feel distant, dirty, and disconnected from the light of your faith. You might even find it difficult to stand in prayer, feeling like a fraud. You wonder, how can I face Allah Almighty after what I have done? How could He possibly forgive me this time? This feeling of guilt can be so powerful that it paralyzes you, making you believe that the path back to Him is closed forever. But what if we have been looking at guilt all wrong? What if that heavy feeling is not a punishment, but a profound mercy? What if it is not a wall separating you from Allah Almighty, but a sacred echo, a signal from your soul that it knows it has strayed and wants to find its way back home? Think about it. A person whose heart is truly sealed and lost feels no guilt. They sin and they move on, their conscience undisturbed. The very fact that you feel the sting of remorse is a powerful and beautiful sign. It means your spiritual heart, your inner core is still alive and well. It still recognizes truth from falsehood, light from darkness. That discomfort you feel is a gift. It is Allah Almighty's gentle way of tapping on your shoulder, of saying, my child, this is not who you are. This is not the path of peace. Come back. Will take this beautiful signal of guilt and twist it into a tool of despair. He will tell you, you have failed again. You are hopeless. Allah Almighty is tired of you. There is no point in even trying anymore. And this is His greatest trick. He wants you to become so lost in the shame of your sin that you forget the boundless, infinite nature of your Lord's mercy. But Allah Almighty's message is the complete opposite. He calls out to us not as saints or perfect beings, but as His servants who have wronged themselves. He acknowledges our human frailty, our capacity to make mistakes, and then He gives us the most beautiful command. Do not despair. It is a command, not just a suggestion. It is as if He is protecting us from our own hopelessness, reminding us that His capacity to forgive is far greater than our capacity to sin. His door is never closed. His mercy is not a finite resource that runs out after a certain number of mistakes. It is an endless ocean, and your sincere return is all that is needed to be washed clean. So when you are sitting with that feeling of guilt, I invite you to see it not as a source of shame, but as a catalyst for one of the most beloved acts of worship, a sincere return. That guilt is the motivation you need to turn back to Him with a humility you might not have had before. It breaks your pride. It softens a heart that may have become hardened. It makes your prayer forgiveness not just a string of words, but a genuine, heartfelt cry for help. This is the moment your relationship with Allah Almighty can deepen in a way it never could when things were easy. You are no longer approaching Him from a place of self-righteousness, but from a place of complete and utter need. And Allah Almighty loves a servant who comes to Him in this state. He loves the broken heart that seeks to be mended by Him. He loves the tearful admission of fault and the quiet promise to try again. Do not let yourself be trapped in the past. Your sin was a moment, but His mercy is eternal. Acknowledge your mistake, feel the remorse, and then turn that guilt into a beautiful, hopeful prayer. Ask for His forgiveness, and then, most importantly, believe that you have been forgiven. For the promise of our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is true. The one who returns from a sin is as pure as one who has never sinned at all. My friend, there is a state of the heart that can be even more confusing than sadness or guilt. It is the state of emptiness. It is a profound spiritual stillness, a quiet numbness where you feel disconnected not only from others but from the very acts of worship that once brought you comfort. You stand for prayer and your mind wanders. You recite the words, but they feel like empty shells devoid of meaning or impact. You raise your hands to make a personal prayer and you cannot find the words or even the feeling to convey what is in your heart. It feels like you are going through the motions, a spiritual automaton, and a deep sense of unease settles in. You start to question everything. Is my faith gone? Have I become a hypocrite? Why do I feel nothing when I should be feeling everything? This spiritual dryness can be one of the most isolating and frightening experiences for a believer, because you do not even know where to begin to find your way back. If you are in this place right now or have ever been, I want you to know that you are not alone in this landscape. This is a known terrain on the spiritual path, a valley that even the most righteous of souls have had to walk through. It is a test, but not in the way we might think. It is not a test of your emotional capacity. It is a test of your sincerity and your steadfastness. It is easy to worship Allah Almighty when your heart is overflowing with love and spiritual sweetness. It is easy to pray when tears flow freely and you feel an electrifying connection. But the true measure of your commitment, the true depth of your belief, is often revealed in these quiet, dry seasons. It is in the choice to show up even when you feel nothing. It is in the decision to stand on your prayer mat when your heart feels like a stone. It is in the whispering of His name even when your soul feels barren. This is an act of the most profound love. It is telling Allah Almighty, "Oh my Lord, I am not here for the feelings. I am not here for the emotional high. I am here for you. My feelings are fickle and they change like the seasons, but you are the eternal, unchanging reality. So I will continue to show up for you whether I feel soaring in the heavens or crawling through a desert. My worship is not conditional upon how I feel. It is a testament to my belief in you." This is a level of spiritual maturity that is forged only in the crucible of such tests. Allah Almighty is teaching you to detach your faith from fleeting emotional states and to attach it to the unshakable truth of His existence and His right to be worshipped. He is purifying your intention, making sure you are seeking His face and not just the comfort that His remembrance can bring. Furthermore, do not underestimate the value of your deeds in these moments. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught us that the most beloved deeds to Allah Almighty are not necessarily the grandest or most emotionally charged ones, but those that are done consistently, even if they are small. Your 2 units of prayer offered with a tired, empty heart may be heavier on the scales than 100 units offered in a state of spiritual ecstasy, because it required more from you. It required a deeper level of commitment, a conscious choice to obey and to trust in the face of inner emptiness. Allah Almighty sees your struggle. He sees the effort it takes for you to unroll your prayer mat. He hears the prayer you whisper, even when it feels like it does not travel past your lips. He is not judging the quality of your emotional performance. He is witnessing the sincerity of your effort. So be gentle with yourself in these seasons. Do not force feelings that are not there. Simply continue with your small, consistent deeds. Keep your tongue moist with a simple remembrance. Open the Quran, even if you only read a single verse. Your job is to keep planting the seeds. The rain, the growth, and the blossoming are in His hands. This season of stillness will not last forever. It is simply a quiet, fallow period, allowing your soul to rest and strengthen its roots, preparing you for a spring you cannot yet see. My dear brother, my dear sister, in this age of endless scrolling and curated perfection, there is a subtle poison that can seep into our hearts almost without us noticing. It is the poison of comparison. You are living your life, trying your best, being patient with your struggles, and then you see it. You see a friend's announcement of a marriage. You see a colleague's promotion. You see pictures of a seemingly perfect family, a beautiful home, a life filled with ease and blessings that you have been praying for. And in that moment, a shadow falls over your heart. A quiet, painful thought emerges. Why them and not me? What am I doing wrong? When will it be my turn? This feeling is often followed by a wave of guilt. We feel ashamed for feeling a pang of jealousy or sadness at someone else's good fortune, believing that it makes us a bad person, a poor believer. First, let us be clear. Feeling this way does not make you a bad person. It makes you a human being. We were created with these emotions. The feeling of wanting what another has or feeling a sense of lack in our own lives is a natural human response. The true test is not in the initial feeling itself, but in what we choose to do with it. Do we allow it to fester into bitterness, resentment, and envy? Or do we use it as a powerful signal from our soul to turn back to Allah Almighty and recalibrate our perspective? The choice we make in that moment is what defines our faith and shapes our character. The path of despair is to dwell on what others have, allowing it to diminish our gratitude for what we have. But the path of faith is to see the blessings in others' lives and use it as a catalyst for our own heartfelt, sincere prayer. Instead of letting that feeling of comparison pull you down, I invite you to transform it into an act of worship. The moment you feel that pang in your heart, catch it, acknowledge it without judgment, and then turn it immediately into a prayer. If you see someone blessed with a loving spouse, say, "Oh Allah Almighty, bless their union and grant me a righteous spouse who will be the coolness of my eyes." If you see someone with financial ease, say, "Oh Allah Almighty, increase their provision, protect them from arrogance, and open the doors of my own provision in a way that is best for me." By doing this, you perform a beautiful spiritual alchemy. You take a potentially destructive emotion and you turn it into a positive prayer for both the other person and for yourself. You defeat the whisper of the deceiver who wants to create animosity, and you affirm your belief that the khazan, the treasures of Allah Almighty, are vast and limitless. His giving to someone else does not in any way diminish what He has in store for you. Moreover, it is crucial to remember that what we see on the surface is never the full story. We see the curated highlight reel of people's lives, the moments of joy and success. We do not see their private struggles, their silent tears, their hidden tests, or the battles they fight when no one is watching. Every single person on this earth is being tested, but in different ways. The person with wealth is being tested with gratitude and humility. The person with a family is being tested with patience and responsibility. Your test may be in waiting, in longing, in trusting. To wish for their life is to wish for their tests as well, and we may not have the strength to carry their specific burdens. Allah Almighty, in His infinite wisdom, has given you the exact life, the exact circumstances, and the exact tests that are perfectly designed for your soul's growth. Your journey is unique. Your timeline is unique. The plan He has for you is tailored to you with a level of love and precision that you cannot even comprehend. So let go of the need to compare. Withdraw your heart from the lives of others and place it gently back into your own, watering it with gratitude for the blessings you do have, and with a beautiful, hopeful prayer for the blessings that are on their way. Your provision is written. It will not miss you. And true wealth is not in having more, but in being content with what you have. My dearest friend, there is a whisper that often visits us in the dead of night, when the world is asleep and our minds are left to wander. It is the whisper of fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of the future. The questions circle in our minds, relentless and unsettling. What if I never find a spouse? What if I lose my job? What if I fail again? This fear can be a heavy cloak wrapping around our hearts and constricting our breath. It steals the joy from our present moment and casts a long, dark shadow over the potential of our future. We might even feel a sense of spiritual failure, believing that a true believer should not feel such anxiety, that our fear signifies a lack of trust in Allah Almighty. But I want to gently propose a different way of seeing this. Your fear does not mean your faith is weak. It simply means you are human. You are a fragile being in a vast and unpredictable world. To feel fear is to acknowledge your own limitations, your lack of control over the grand scheme of things. And in a beautiful power doctrinal way, this acknowledgement of your own powerlessness is the very first step toward discovering true power. It is the doorway to developing one of the most beautiful qualities a heart can possess, a deep, sincere, and liberating trust in Allah Almighty. Your fear is not there to break you. It is there to guide you. It is there to make you realize that you are carrying a burden that you were never meant to carry alone. The burden of the future belongs only to Him. Think of the beautiful teaching of our beloved Prophet Muhammad, be upon him. He told us that if we were to truly trust in Allah Almighty, with the trust He deserves, He would provide for us just as He provides for the birds. They leave their nests in the morning with empty stomachs, with no certainty of where their food will come from. They do not have pantries or savings accounts. They have only their instinct to fly and their innate trust in their Creator. And they return in the evening, their needs fulfilled. This does not mean the bird stays in its nest and waits for food to appear. It still has to do its part. It has to stretch its wings and fly. In the same way, we are asked to do our part. We make our plans. We study for the exam. We apply for the job. We seek out a suitable spouse. We take our camel. But after we have done our part, we must learn to release the outcome. We must hand over the results to the one who has a perfect plan, a plan that is far more beautiful and wise than anything we could ever conceive for ourselves. Your anxiety often comes from a place of wanting to control the uncontrollable. You want a guarantee, you want a clear roadmap. But faith is about walking forward even when the path is not fully illuminated, trusting that the one who guides you knows the way. When fear begins to whisper in your ear, use it as your cue to turn to Him in prayer. Speak to Him about your fears, lay them out before Him. Say, "O Allah Almighty, I am scared. I do not know what tomorrow holds. I feel weak and uncertain. I am placing my future, my hopes, my worries, and my entire being into your hands. For you are the best of planners. You are sufficient for me." This act of consciously handing over your fears is transformative. You will feel a weight lift from your shoulders. It does not mean the challenges will magically disappear, but it means you are no longer facing them alone. You are now facing them with the quiet confidence that the Lord of the worlds is by your side. Remind your heart of His promise. He is enough for anyone who trusts in Him. Let this be your anchor in the stormy seas of uncertainty. Take it one day at a time, one breath at a time. Do your best in the present moment and leave the rest to the one who has never forgotten you and will never abandon you. Your future is safer in His hands than it could ever be in your own. My beloved friend, we have walked together through the valleys of our hearts. We have spoken of the ache of distance, the sanctity of our tears, the echo of guilt, the stillness of a tired soul, the shadow of comparison, and the whisper of fear. These are not just abstract concepts. They are the real lived experiences of so many of us who are striving on this path. They are the quiet battles we fight behind our smiles, the silent struggles we carry in the depths of our being. And perhaps after days or weeks or even years of wrestling with this inner turmoil, you experience something unexpected. You experience a moment of calm. It is a quiet, gentle peace that settles over you for no apparent reason. The problems may still be there. The future may still be uncertain, but for a fleeting moment, the storm inside you subsides and you can breathe again. Please, I want you to cherish this moment. Do not dismiss it as random or insignificant. This sudden, unexplainable peace is a gift. It is a sign. It is a direct mercy from Allah Almighty, a gentle caress for your weary soul. It is His way of telling you, I am here. I have seen your struggle. I have heard your silent prayers. I have witnessed your steadfastness, and here is a moment of rest for you. This calm is a foretaste of the healing that is to come. It is a reminder that even after the darkest night, the dawn will always break. It is Allah Almighty giving your heart a chance to recharge, to gather its strength, and to remember that ease is possible, that peace is its natural state. This tranquility is a profound form of communication from Him to you, a reassurance that you have not been abandoned. So if you have been feeling any of these deep, powerful, and often painful emotions, please do not rush to judge yourself. Do not fall into the trap of thinking that these feelings mean you have failed, that your faith has crumbled, or that Allah Almighty is far from you. In truth, the very opposite may be true. These emotions, in their raw and honest intensity, are proof that your heart is still soft, still searching, still yearning for its true home. You are not distant, you are not forgotten, and you are certainly not broken beyond repair. Your spiritual sensitivity is a blessing. It is the very thing that is trying to guide you back to the source of all peace. Your journey through sadness can carve out a greater capacity for joy. Your experience of guilt can lead to the sweetest taste of forgiveness. Your moments of fear can build the most unshakable fortress of trust. Each emotion is a doorway. Faith is not about maintaining a constant state of blissful happiness. It is not about being perpetually strong and having all the answers. Faith is about turning to Allah Almighty even when you feel weak. It is about trusting Him even when you do not understand. It is about whispering His name in the dark even when your voice trembles. It is in these moments of profound vulnerability that He is closest to us. He did not say, I am near to the righteous, or I am near to the perfect. He said, I am indeed near. I respond to the prayer of the supplicant when he calls on me. That supplicant is you. It is me. It is anyone who turns to Him, regardless of their state, regardless of their past. The only condition is that you call. So if you have been waiting for a sign, if your soul has been longing for a reminder that you are not walking this path alone, let this be it. Let this be the moment your heart awakens to the beautiful, comforting, and undeniable truth. Allah Almighty is near. He has always been near. And He is waiting with a love and mercy that you cannot even fathom for you to simply turn back to Him. You do not need grand gestures or eloquent words. You do not need to fix everything overnight. All you need is one sincere step, one honest movement of the heart back in His direction. And He, in His infinite generosity, has promised to come to you running. So let your challenges become your prayers. Let your pain soften your heart. Let every emotion you feel become a bridge that leads you not into despair, but into the loving embrace of His nearness. Your journey back to peace begins now with one simple, quiet, and beautiful return.